Wow. So Naoya Inoue becomes the unified super bantamweight champion, obtaining the WBC and WBO belts off of Stephen Fulton. What an amazing performance. People are talking about him being the pound for pound number one. I think Spencer and Crawford will have something to say about that. I don't normally get into pound for pound rankings, but that was an absolutely sensational performance. That is how you put yourself, in the conversation. Well, he's already been in the conversation, but that's how you really take yourself to that level when you beat, an undefeated unified champion, moving up in weight. I mean, granted, the fight was in Japan, but goodness me, what a performance! That was incredible, and it was the jab. We spoke about that in the pre-fight. I was like, I can't wait to see when these guys start dueling out with the jab and the variety of different jabs. You could see straight away from round one, Inoue looked solid and powerful, and I was saying his power is going to travel up because his technique is so good, his balance is so good, he places his shots perfectly, just crisp, tight shots, and he was outboxing Fulton really. But the jab was the key. It was so crisp and speedy too, and accurate, and he was mixing it up downstairs, upstairs, vertical jabs, up jabs, straight jabs, power jabs. Wow. Fulton, he certainly felt the power, and I thought I picked Inoue to win on points, so maybe just slightly. I thought it'd be more competitive, to be honest with you, but we could be watching an all-time great. Really, we'll see in the years to come just how good this guy is, because he's about to, obviously embark on a new division. He just has, but there's some massive fights out there later. We'll talk about those at the end of the video, but Fulton certainly felt that power, even from the jab, and you can feel it on the gloves if you don't get it hit bang on the face, but in the belly, he was getting jabbed everywhere. He was landing his own here and there, and then Fulton, I think it was the fifth, he had a decent round then, and he caught Inoue with a jab and a right hand, but he just couldn't compete with him really. It was very one-sided, and the size. I was questioning whether Fulton he'd be the bigger, stronger man, but it didn't really appear that way. Power from punching and physical strength are totally different, but Fulton couldn't really get on the inside. I thought he'd maybe use a bit more lateral movement and be on his back foot a little bit, but he was getting out jabbed, he was getting out boxed, he was getting out fought really. And then I think it was the eighth, Inoue once again, and I spoke about the fighters trying to snake charm each other, right? So he's putting in that jab up, down, everywhere, and it creates this illusion or snake charming sort of rhythm. And he jabbed downstairs, and then he finished him. Well, he finished him with the left hook, but he jabbed downstairs and then came back up top with the right cross. Boom. Dropped Fulton. Or was it the left hook that dropped him? That did a lot of damage, the right hand, and then I knew he came with it. Excuse me, he came with the left hook. And then he's a tremendous finisher too. I knew he had him in the corner. That was all she wrote. Ref waved it off. Good stoppage, really, to be honest. I mean, even after a few rounds, like maybe the fifth, I know Fulton was in it and he was fighting hard. He's a tough dude. But I started to think, I don't think this fight is going to go 12, because Fulton doesn't have the pop to keep him off. Do you know what I mean? And he just looked strong, powerful, athletic, speedy. In every department, really, he was superior. He was a superior boxer, fighter, finisher, all of it. I mean, it was just an amazing performance. That was an amazing performance. Wow. Yeah. It was hard to see where Fulton was going to be able to change something up. I was chatting to a couple of people in Hatman's Element group, and we were questioning the tactics, because Fulton was staying in the mid-range, but like he was just trying to get his jab off as well. But he was not really offering a great deal outside of that. I wondered whether he was trying to get to the inside, but he certainly could not deal with that speed and power and sharpness, quickness, and ferociousness. Really, those punches had bad intentions, like And when you have that in front of you, like, I did speak about this, but I was like, that's going to temper you, you know? Although Fulton, like I said, he was trying to fight, but like, you don't have many options when you have such a fierce dude in front of you. But, you know, be that as it may, come round 8, fight, the jab work done downstairs, set up the right hand, and that was all she wrote, really. Once that left hook came in, that was a tremendous punch. And just an amazing performance from what will be probably an amazing fighter. And credit to Stephen Fulton, he fought his heart out, really, do you know what I mean? But he was just outmatched in every single way. And he got nothing to be ashamed of, really. He'll come back from this and he'll learn a lot from it. And Inoue will probably go for undisputed. Forget the guy's name, the Filipino Tapales, who just beat MJ. I'm sure he'll probably want those belts. I've got to watch a bit more of that guy before I start trying to see what happens there. But it's hard to imagine somebody beating Inoue. Not at 122. Could he go up to 126? I know Timothy Bradley and the guys were talking about that. They even talked about a potential him and Loma fight if Loma came down to 126. Wow, how amazing would that be? But bit of a fantasy. Steady on. But we're gonna have some, you know, amazing like fights to watch, and just to see how good this dude is, because that wasn't even close, that fight. And, you know, like I said, I thought it'd be a bit more competitive, but I did pick Inoue to win. But shout out to anybody that voted. And Inoue, you know, like he's a terrifying fighter, the monster, the monster. Look, what's next for him? Like I said, unify those belts, or try and get that undisputed fight at 122. No question. That should be his target, and that's what he's going to probably try to do, and I wouldn't be surprised if he did it within the next few months. And then that is it from me. Shout out to you guys. Hit the comments if you have any. I'm going to make a video today about the jab, actually, for beginners, but we're going to talk a bit more about that and how to throw it. I've got the Spence Crawford fight breakdown coming up as well. Fight week, boxing's rolling, and this is amazing. So peace and love. I'm out of here, and have a great week.